Hey guys, welcome back for another video. It's time for a couple new upgrades. These not so expensive, but I hope they're going to make a really good difference. Today's video is about upgrade number 1, the rear surrounds. Next video will be an upgrade of the rug. You might notice my voice is a little echoey right now, and if you watched, I can't remember which video it was either the LSiM 707 review or the setup video, but my closing talk, it sounded very echoey, and that's because there was no rug in the room like there is right now. Long story short, the dogs destroyed it. It looked like a murder scene with the UV light. Starting to smell, couldn't get it clean, got rid of it. We have a new rug coming in, not only for here, but another one for the bedroom, and they're from Ruggables. They're washable. It's a 2-part system. I'll have a full review of it, but I'm excited for it in here, and it's an upgrade in here because it's covering another 20 square feet of hardwood floor. This is going to go right up to the speakers. It's going to be a little bit larger than the last one. I'm going to have it all in front since I'll be able to walk on it now and not have to worry about traffic and getting it dirty because it all goes in the washer, just the top section of it. Clover, do not eat the couch. Hey. Oh my. Moved on from the biting me phase to chewing every other thing in the house phase. I did find a spray that helps, by the way, if you've got a puppy. It's the Cherry No Bite. Got it on Amazon. I tried all the ones at Walmart and the pet store and they didn't do anything. But the Cherry one, it doesn't last that long, but it works. She'll lick something and it's kind of bitter. Never mind. So anyway, I'm excited for that. That'll help with reflections, obviously, in the room. But the surrounds here are the only remnant left of my theater 2 versions ago. I got these and installed them when we bought the house, and I set this up originally. Back then I was using, again, Polk Audio, but the monitor, yes, that's my finger. She at least doesn't chomp and draw too much blood anymore. She just kind of sucks on it. Monitor 7 Series 2 speakers and the matching center. And these were pretty good about matching the timbre. They were okay, they were passable with the clips. I always said, well, you know, it's just surround, not that important. But I had to push them pretty well. I think they're 88 or 89 dB efficiency, so they had to catch up with the clips because they were very efficient. However, because they're so close to the listening position, it still worked out. I think these were boosted between 2 and 3 dB, so not that big of a deal. And they're bipole, which work out really well in a situation like this where your seating position is directly up against the wall. I have no problem with the way these image, especially after the YPOW room correction. It just works very well. But my issue now is I'm so in love with the LSiM series. These are not matching the timbre of these new Polks at all. I mean, not even close. You go through the speaker identification, the test tones, it's not even in the ballpark. The Atmos speakers have way more of a match than these do, and these are kind of like a Klipsch copy. But the other really only big drawback to them is they're fairly small, they're very compact, and for the price, they're excellent surround speakers. They're only 120 bucks a pair in walnut black or white. They only have 4-inch drivers, one on each side, and then a 1-inch tweeter also on one on each side. They only go down to 130 hertz. That's not great. I mean, it's passable, and for the price, it's fine. Just means you're crossing them over higher. And again, I'd always tell myself, it's just surround, not that big of a deal. Well, there's such a great deal on the LSiM speakers right now that I'm getting them while I can. They're 1,500 bucks down to 400 bucks. They're coming in this afternoon. They have the same technology and same drivers as the mains. It's going to be a perfect timbre match. More importantly, to the center. That's what really draws your ear when effects and everything are going around you. And I just couldn't pass up the deal. So that'll just set everything in stone and be done as far as I know. I tell you, the other really cool thing, this is just a quick side note, I no longer have to crank the subs to the max because now all the speakers are properly matched sensitivity-wise. The clips were just so far above everything else that the subs had to be so far pushed just to match that they were tapped out. They're not even breathing hard now. They're probably a little bit more efficient than the mains. So I came down 5 dB and it's just beautiful. Sounds the same, but I can crank it louder. So that's pretty cool. So just like the rest of the line, these are solid high caliber construction. Inside we have a how to unbox, same thing. Take off the top, flip it over, separate the contents. Inside we have an oval, 2 separate speakers. These are similar in the design to the Fluence bipoles. These have a driver facing forward and drivers facing to one side only. They're not bipole speakers. So they are directional, and you do need to place the correct left and right one in the right spots depending on where you're going to use them, on a back wall or side walls. You want them aimed at the center of the listening position. Ooh, beautiful piano gloss finish here on the top. I'll bring the camera in a second and get these cleared of the bags. Starting off on the back, first thing I notice is much wider mount points compared to the Fluence. The Fluence pretty much mount like picture frame, just a little bracket hanging off there. And I actually had to drill them out because the holes they gave you were just so tiny, only tiny little screws would even fit, and they weren't beefy enough to hold the weight of this, which is maybe 7 pounds, if that. Then we have our gold-plated binding posts, and they do give you this nice cutout channel so that you can put this completely flush against the wall. Mine's actually going to be out just a bit because where I have the junction boxes coming through the walls for the cables, it sticks out just a little bit, but I might be able to hang this in a different spot where it's a little easier than the Fluence were. And then around to the front, it's nice and gently curved in comparison to the Fluence, which are a 3-sided, and many others like Klipsch. I like this. This gives a nice, almost commercial theater look. Doesn't mean much because they're angled underneath it, but I think it looks really neat. Let's see how this grill pops off. I don't know if it's magnetic. It is. That's pretty cool. Really strong magnets too. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 magnets. What's that? Oh, that's a little foam protection thing there. On the back side of the logo, probably where the posts go through the grill. Might be able to take the grill off. I mean, logo off. No, it's got an indent for the mount. Just not a fan of that logo. That's okay. You don't see it on surrounds that much, but big, strong magnets. Let's take a look at the drivers. Now, in my case, this will be my rear right because these are angled what will be towards the center. And one thing I do notice, these are quite sharply angled. So this works beautifully, as well as the Fluence did, for a direct sitting against the back wall situation, because these are aimed really at a shallow angle. Things like the Klipsch, for example, they're more out at 45 degrees. So they don't work really well if it's very close to your seating position, but these will. And then the large bass driver going forward, we've got a switch here. And what this does is attenuate the bass in very specific regions. And that's if you're mounting these really close to a sidewall towards a corner where it would be accentuated. This will tone it down and make it more flat. And I believe it's a 2-foot parameter. And then we have the same ring tweeter and mid-range driver. This is a mid-bass driver out of the regular LSiM series. So it is 100% matched. Love it. Let's get them up on the wall. 2 other quick things. Every wall mount speaker should do this, but it's actually quite rare. They give you a template. It is such a pain in the butt to try and mount something perfectly level and get your screw holes and your anchors in exactly the right spot without a template. You end up having to make one yourself. For example, on the Fluence, I had to get a piece of paper and kind of make an indent and then transfer that to the wall, make sure that's level. With this, easy peasy. You've got straight lines, you can poke through right at the perfect positions, put it up on the wall, use a level, and you're good to go. Bada bing, bada boom. Full size diagram of your speaker. They also give you rubber feet in case you want to place these on any kind of surface, or soft felt for the same purpose. Very nice addition. I had to do this myself to the Fluence. Break time. Use two people. This is incredibly difficult to hold up with one hand, peeking around the back, getting that thing aligned on the screws. Whew. Getting the screws in there, no problem. Template worked great. But man, those things get heavy real quick when you're trying to hold them up like this. Not fun, but it looks great. Just a little upgrade, huh? Well, they not only look great, in fact, I think either one of these options look great in anybody's theater, no matter the price point. They both look professional. I love the way both of them look. I like that just better though. That looks commercial to me. That looks like something I see actually going to the theater. You know, that's just what it looks like. Not only size-wise, but just the overall design and aesthetic. I love it. But more importantly, they sound fantastic, and they should be sounding that way for the price. These retailed for $1,500 a pair. I got them on closeout for $400. Couldn't pass it up. Definitely worth $400. I don't know if they're worth $1,500. I mean, $1,500 buys you a plethora of awesome front-end speakers with a lot more materials and a lot more engineering. So I think they just kind of jacked the price on the ancillary speakers to gotcha once you're dialed into a system. And, you know, that's where I'm at now, but savvy shopper, not paying full retail, $400, I'll pay it all day long. Well worth it. And the other feature of these that makes them sound so good and full is the power port. The same port and flared funnel design you have on the bottom and back of the 707s and 706. Really gives them full range power. That's it. Stay tuned. More coming later. See ya.